I didn't know. I didn't know you were a Rule 5 guy.
Yes.
What was that experience like? Because I'm geeking out about it. Like I've had Mark Hanna on the team. I've had Ryan Notice. There's like diamonds in the rough, but I don't really know what the actual experience is like.
It's pretty funny. I feel like I'm just ripping myself to pieces here, but so this is again 2005. This was coming out of 2004, so 2005. So I go to the Olympics, right, on the Aussie team, and this is where the twins Terry Ryan said, "Oh, hey, we watched you you're pitching against Cuba." We're like, man, let's track this kid. I came back to the States and they tracked me and they said, if he's not on the roster, we're going to pick him up in a Rule 5. I had no idea until years later, by the way. So what happened was, I'm sure it's way different now with social media and the way they treat, you mentioned Mark, Canner and everything. And so it's way different now, but we're going back in the day. So I'm in Australia and anytime my phone, my crappy little Nokia, whatever it was, 5110 would ring. Yeah. And it was from like an unknown number. I'm like, oh, it's the States. Maybe it's probably the Mariners checking in. So, hey, making sure you got your visa. Or, hey, can you come to early camp 2 weeks or whatever the hell, whatever it is. And so, and again, I'm a suspect at this point. I'm a little bit of a prospect maybe. I got a chance at this point. Mm-hmm. So my phone rings and it's the assistant GM and he calls me and he goes, hey, what's up? How you doing? I just want to say welcome, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, sorry, who are you? I had no idea. So I woke up in the morning. This is like 7 a.m. I'm half asleep. And I'm like, he goes, oh, it's, what was his name? Bill Smith, I think it was, from the Twins. I just want to say welcome. I'm like, I'm sorry. Can you explain to me?
Welcome.
He goes, oh, we just picked you up in a Rule 5 like this. And I'm trying to like get my bearings. So I'm like, I knew what the Rule 5 meant, but
I was going to say, did you know what it was? Okay, cool. Yeah.
I didn't know what it meant, but I did say to him, I said, can you explain how this works? Because and the reason I said that is just because I wanted to make sure like I was hearing everything correctly. And he goes, well, basically the way it works is this. And he goes into like this, like finger puppets. He's explained to a kindergarten class. And I'm like, oh my God, this is embarrassing. So the first impression, he's probably like, who is this friggin' kid lives in the outback throwing, it was so embarrassing. And then speaking of agents, one of my ex-agents, I call him, hey man, I just got a call from the Twins. And he's on the golf course. And he's like, yeah, his name's Randy Rowley, this dude. Oh God, anyway, I'll throw him under the bus. I don't care.
Okay.
And he didn't give a Garrett Anderson had just signed a massive deal with the Angels, so he was like loving that.
Yeah.
And so he goes, oh yeah, you got Rule 5. So basically, the Mariners didn't put you on their major league roster. And I'm like, oh, thanks. And so you're available for Rule 5. You have to make the team. If you don't make the team, the major league team, they just send you back. Like while he's hitting the golf ball, basically. I'm like, all right, I got to go. Like, I'm like, sorry to interrupt your golf game.
Like it was so casual for him to give you details about your possible future. Right. Yeah.
I'm like, sorry to interrupt your golf game, mate, but like, this is wild. I go to the internet cafe. No, I go on the computer. I go on the twins.com, like, and there I am on the front page. I'm like, oh my God, I'm Rowland-Smith Rule 5. And here's the deal too, Jess, was because they had Johan Santana a couple of years ago, picked up as a Rule 5 pick, going to win his Cy Young. So the bar was raised, man. So I go into spring training and I straight away, and that's where I met Grant. God, if it wasn't for him, I would have been out there in a week. But I was so over my skis. I felt like, I swear to God, I felt like a Make-A-Wish kid in spring training. That's what I felt like. I swear to God. Where it was a situation where...
Like they were doing you a favor by being
like, oh,
there.
Hey, welcome, buddy. Is this cool? Like, this is Major
League
League
camp. Look at this precious angel. Welcome.
Look at this really cool jersey you get. And like, that's what... have you met Toriano? There he is. He's right over there. Like, that's what it felt like. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I pitched, I threw like an inning to the Red Sox scoreless or something, pitched pretty well. And I come in, the pitching coach like clap, like, good job, buddy. Wow. Like this, that's what it felt like. I'm like, I've got no friggin' chance. What am I doing?
Oh my gosh.
So I hung around for long enough. Writing's on the wall. I was just on every bus trip across the country to go back up these games. And they'll go back to spring training to the Mariners. And Bill Bavasi says, oh, hey, by the way, Rule 5 picks, usually when they get sent back, they never get to the big leagues. You know that, right? I swear to God, he said that to me. And I'm like, thanks, Bill. Like, and so I dragged that into my AA year. I'm like, this is it. This is my story. This was as close as I'm ever going to get. And I had a bad year that year in Double A. Just kick it off. I was a mess, man. I was like, oh God, this was my one chance, and I blew it. So it was a very interesting experience. I know it works out for a lot of guys, but the Twins were good. They were in the playoffs the year before. There were men in that locker room. I was not a man. I was a kid, man. That's what it felt like. I had no chance. Put it that way.
Yeah, I could imagine. Oh, that's funny because the Rule 5's always been really intriguing to me, especially because I love the diamond in the rough mentality, and that sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't.